It's no secret that FC or FIFA has been on a steady decline for the past few years. The negativity is louder than ever and the player base is slowly shrinking. What actually is the problem? Well, with help from you guys over on TikTok, we've narrowed it down to 6 key points. And for each of these 6 points, we've got a solution that we think will help fix the game and bring FC back to what me and you once loved. Now, if you're wondering, I've played FIFA or FC religiously since FIFA 13, back before when some of you were even born, which is slightly terrifying. But it does mean that I've seen the full evolution from daily tournaments to the game we've got today and everything in between. So with no more yipper yapper, let's jump straight into these 6 points and help fix FC Ultimate Team. One of the biggest complaints that we had is the awful pack weight. But however, my take on this is slightly different to most people's and might annoy a few people here. I don't think pack weight is actually too low, I just think it's a little unbalanced. Compare packing a promo card this FIFA, FC 25, to packing any promo card back on FIFA 18. Way easier. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better system. What's actually happened is a massive gap between those standard promo cards and then those top 1% promo cards that are released each week. Take a look at this Murillo card from the Shapeshifters promo a few weeks ago. Dirt cheap and you probably packed him 5 or 6 times. But he's one of the best in his position in the entire game. Then take a look at this Ronaldinho card. Of course it's Ronaldinho, a way better card and way more sought after. But he's millions of coins. So what is the problem here? Is the problem that Ronaldinho's too expensive? Maybe not. I think the problem is that Murillo's too cheap and therefore there's a gap between the top players and the average players in the promo. This means it's harder to generate the coins when you pack players like Murillo to then be able to afford the players like Ronaldinho that you actually want in your team at the end of the game. This is all because of this unbalanced pack weight gap that I've spoke about. So what is the solution for this? Is it to lower the pack weights of the Ronaldinhos of the world? I personally don't think so. And this might piss a few people off, but I think the solution here really is to increase the pack weight and make it more difficult to pack these low-end promo cards like a Murillo or like the thousands of others on the game. What this would do is fix the supply and demand issue that we currently have and bring back that buzz that you used to get when you packed the promo card back in one of the old FIFAs. That buzz that people miss to this day. And what would help with this is the next point on this list. When PlayStyles first dropped, honestly, I was buzzing, and I'm sure you were. They seemed like a great addition, and I really do think for the first few weeks or months of the game, they were. But now, after they've been in the game for 2 full years, we can now see that I think the negativity and the bad outweigh the good. Any one of you who's played FC 25 for any amount of time this year could pretty much guess how good or how meta a player is from these small icons alone. Don't kid yourself, don't be daft. EA know this as well. Look at the top 1% promo cards that come out every single week and just look at the playstyles that EA are giving them. So easy fix, right? Should we remove playstyles? Well, I don't think so. I think playstyles really do add another aspect to the game and can make it more fun. However, they just can't stay in the game in the current way they're implemented. So what would be my solution? Well, I've seen an idea that someone mentioned and I'm going to try and take it and make it into my own a little bit. What if playstyles worked a little bit more like chemistry styles? What if playstyles were consumable cards that you could add to certain cards, maybe depending on position or depending on rarity? This way, you could take your favorite players, maybe from an evolution or just from your favorite team, and apply those meta playstyles that you like to use in the game. Then when a new patch is issued or the meta changes for whatever reason, you can then just go and apply those new playstyles. And now if you're asking yourself, well, wouldn't everyone just go and use the same playstyles? Maybe they would, but they already are doing that with the current meta of the game. However, the difference is now that these playstyles are fixed on cards. So straight from the off, certain cards are meta and certain cards just aren't, and therefore it makes some cards unusable. And for those of you who are thinking that playstyles are just too OP in general and needs a fix, then the next point here is for you. Look, complaining about the gameplay is boring now. Everyone's done it, you've done it, everyone on YouTube's done it, right? It's boring. I'm sick of it. The gameplay now is better than it ever has been, and I won't take any questions on that. Go and play an old FIFA, leave the nostalgia behind, and tell me that that old FIFA is better than this one. It's just not, right? So what's the issue then? Why have I made it a point on this list if I'm telling you now the gameplay's good? For me, it's how long it takes to patch the gameplay when it's not good or when there's an issue with it. The meta shifts constantly throughout the year. We know this. Sometimes it's high press, or sometimes it's headers and crosses. Sometimes it's low driven, as you've seen recently, right? But why do these metas stay for so long when they're clearly broken? Like, look at the low driven shots now. Why have they not been just tweaked a little bit? Even look at the spam tackles. They got fixed recently, but they've been a problem for the whole game cycle. My fix, right, and my solution for this is just groundbreaking, right? It's ingenious. Just patch the game more. Make more updates to the game more frequently. We're not asking for major changes. We're not asking for overhauls. Just listen to the community and make these slight tweaks when there's clearly an issue in the game. And when you speak to some people about this, they say maybe, just maybe, like they don't have enough people working on the game, or it's just not realistic to bring out these patches so often. Which brings me on to the next point on the list. Maybe the reason there's not enough people working on the gameplay is because there's a promo every single week. It's funny to think to me that if you went back onto FIFA 15 or FIFA 14 in your time machine and went and told people that we got a promotion every single week and yet people weren't happy with it, they, you blow their minds, right? But that is what the case is right now, and I think there is a serious issue behind it. Should we ditch promos completely? Obviously not, right? Look at the old FIFAs, like FIFA 15 and before, and look at the cards from that game. Obviously, we're not going to ditch promo cards. Don't be silly, right? Weekly promos crank up the power curve every single week. If they didn't, they'd be pointless, right? If the new cards in packs are not as good as the old cards in packs, then what's the point? But what this means is that every single week, the game's power curve is increasing, and every year, this sort of shift upwards in the power curve just begins to increase again and again at a faster rate. Before you know it, that SBC you crafted 2 weeks ago that you love is now behind the power curve. You can't use him, and if you want to keep up in champs, you got to use the new card and so on. So is the fix here simply just fewer promos? Yes, but I think there's nuance to it. I think if you do fewer promos, you'll get the general complaints that you see online. Oh, there's not enough content. We need more content. EA had a non-10 day, and that's not the solution. So I think, yes, fewer promos, but I think only if you include it along with this next point in the list. Ask yourself now, why do we need constant promos? Because otherwise the game gets boring, right? You need something to do. And why do you need new promos, new SBCs, new packs? Because there's not enough gameplay content, simple as. But GD, I hear you asking, why do we need gameplay if we've already got Division Rivals? Because Division Rivals stinks, let's be honest. Division Rivals, apart from the first 2 weeks of the game cycle, is boring, repetitive, and overall just not what people want to play when they come home from work or school. However, the main issue I have with it is that it's not connected to the actual grind of the game. The fix, I think, is daily and weekly tournaments and similar style content. Now go and look at the Maldini and Maicon Cups this year and go and look at the content surrounding them. People were loving these cups and people were hating them as well, but go and look at it. People were loving that they had something to do which was related to playing the game and that they could get a card that went into their team. So why not have a daily tournament with a decent pack or a weekly tournament with a new card every single week? Or get creative with it and add new systems and new tournaments that we've not seen before. Simple answer is because FC is now about packs, which brings us on to our next issue on the list. Probably the most talked about and the most commented issue when we put out the TikTok video was store packs. And I think this is for good reason too. Now, I think the reason for the current store pack increase is just obvious, right? EA make their money off game sales go down. EA have still got to make their money somehow, right? Do I have a problem with store packs overall? No. Pay to win has always existed. It's always going to exist in FC on FIFA. And if you simply don't like it, my honest advice for you would be just don't play the game. My problem is that the best packs only exist in the store. Pay to win should always be an option, but never the only option in a game. For me, the fix is a good one. Nice and easy. Leave store packs how they are, just add a way to earn them as well. Whether that's through rivals, SBCs, or maybe the tournaments we just mentioned in the last point. But make a way that these store packs, such as the 400Ks, the 500Ks, or the icon guaranteed packs in the store, can be earned through playing the game or grinding the game. Now, don't make them easy to obtain, but make them possible to obtain. That's the difference. And if we did get this in the game, and if you could earn these mega store packs in rivals, would this finally fix the game? Truth is, probably not. Look, we can always try and improve the game, and don't get me wrong, I love FC, I've loved FIFA, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video. But at the end of the day, you're not 13 years old anymore, or at least I'm not. But I want to know what you think. Let me know. Do you think these changes that we've mentioned today would fix the game, make the game worse, or get us maybe somewhere in the middle? Or are we just simply chasing something that's long gone now? And my call to you is, if you're bored of FC or FIFA completely, and you're looking for a fresh new thing to do, We're live Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time, doing all sorts, including community pro clubs, and it's a right laugh. So come and get involved. Until then, in a bizzle.